Hey guys, Scott here. Today I want to have a bit of a discussion about Dead by Daylight being called a party game. I saw this discussion on Twitter today and made me think about talking about this. Because I'm actually someone that has used this term before. Typically, people call Dead by Daylight a party game. What they really mean is that it's just like a very unbalanced whatever game that you just play with your friends, dick around for an hour, and then just do something else. It's not really meant to be a game you invest like a lot of time into. But doing a lot of research, all of the actual definitions of what a party game actually is, Dead by Daylight doesn't really fall under any of them. It, by definition, is actually not a party game. So if we're going by semantics, all of us that are saying it's a party game, we're actually incorrect. It is actually, by definition, a competitive multiplayer game. But that doesn't really mean much. That's just a semantic thing. I want to have a discussion about why it's still seen as way more there's more taboo, like a more of a stigma being a super sweaty player in DBD compared to, like, I don't know, StarCraft or Counter-Strike or something like that. And I thought about it a lot, and I'm trying to boil it down to there's essentially two variables that determine whether or not it's seen as cringe to be tryhard in a game. How well the game is balanced and how well the matchmaking works. Those two things are a pretty one-to-one relationship. For example, a game like StarCraft, again, is a game with pretty decent balance, and it has a functional MMR system that matches people together mostly based on their skill at the game. And because of that, it's not seen as cringe. In fact, the top StarCraft players are super respected, and it is actually just, it's an accolade to be a sweaty top tier StarCraft player, and that's cool. But then we have a game like Dead by Daylight, which is the complete opposite. There's absolutely no matchmaking. There's absolutely no semblance of balance in any way. And so when we have people being super sweaty and tryhard here, it's just met with the complete opposite. It's met with just, why you're such a sweaty tryhard, that's cringe, blah, 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 all that stuff. And I think it's because of those two main variables. The last game I played, Elden Ring, the whole PvP in that game. Back when I played Dark Souls 3, I tried taking it seriously. I was in tournaments and stuff. I hosted tournaments and stuff. And looking back on it now, it's pretty cringe because that game had no balance and no matchmaking. Elden Ring PvP had no balance and no matchmaking, so being super sweaty at that game is just silly. Like, why would you... The whole point is, people that criticize those for playing these games like that in a sweaty way, their overall mindset, and frankly, my overall mindset is, if you want to be super sweaty and try hard at a game, that's totally fine. But go play a game in which your time is rewarded. It seems that's the thing I think most people laugh about. Like, why would you pick Dead by Daylight of all games to be a super sweaty player? It doesn't make any sense, and that's why we call it a party game, because being sweaty at it basically has no reward. There's no feedback for it. Dead by Daylight is not a game that basically rewards your skill. There's a little bit of a skill component, which is why you can tell the difference between a good killer and a bad killer, but it's not enough to go tournament mode on a game that's this badly balanced with no matchmaking. The matchmaking is also the other component to this that makes it so silly, because you could have an absolute top-tier competitive player playing his ass off and just sweating, and he's going against people with like 100 hours in the game because the matchmaking basically just does not work. And so those people are going to have an immense amount of disdain for the person playing super sweaty because they're just completely outmatched. And that would be the case if, Counter-Strike, for example, was putting global elites with, like, fucking bronze players or something. That would be an equal amount of frustration if that was the norm. If that was every game, then people would give Counter-Strike players shit for taking it super seriously because half the time you're just beating up babies. And that's not really seen as a respectful thing. So DBD doesn't have the skill expression to warrant the time invested to getting super good at it, which is why most people just play the game very casually. And because there's no real matchmaking, oftentimes if you are playing it super sweaty, you're not even going against anything remotely close to what you're putting out. And that's the main issue. And that's why sweaty players get so much shit in this game. It's because the game is not really it doesn't reward you for playing that way, so why are you doing it? And that's pretty much what it boils down to. So semantically, yes, this game is actually not a party game. If people say that, including me, it's incorrect. It does fit all the criteria for a competitive game. But it's so badly balanced, and there's absolutely like no matchmaking to the point where your time invested into this game is an absolute joke. And if you take it that seriously, that's why people kind of laugh at you, because why would you pick this game for that kind of mindset? Go play a fighting game, go play a shooter, go play an RTS, go play a MOBA, go play. There's so many games that have an actual one-to-one relationship with the amount of skill and time that you put in with the reward that you get back. DBD is not that game. And that's why people get made fun of if they play like that. So it was interesting to think about. So yeah, I just wanted to go over the whole party game discussion because it's actually incorrect, but it's a separate discussion. Thanks for watching.